Hello everybody. Candia here with Simply Candia. I wanted to share with you this journal I recently finished, a sewing themed journal. It has a lot of antique and vintage items in here, laces, buttons. This is an envelope from a sewing pattern of this beautiful dress and another one that I have inside. You know, I just really love looking at old sewing patterns and looking at old pictures. The way women used to dress is just not the same today as it was back then, in the class and the beauty they had in the way they presented themselves. I found this cute sewing machine charm that I thought made a cute little touch to the journal. I added some paper measuring tape, made a flower out of some gingham ribbon with a little button on top and some flower trim, a little bit of rickrack and a safety pin up here at the top, and on the spine lots of fibrous goodies with some ribbons and lace and some rickrack. And as we head inside, I have here on the first page a bag that you can tuck lots of goodies in, and this little tuck spot that I tucked a little packaging for some iron-on seam binding that used to be able to buy for 29 cents. I stamped and embossed this image of a sewing machine on here, some ribbon and more rickrack and another safety pin, and the cute flower trim all make this page come together and be super cute. Right here I have some old snap closure tape, beautiful vintage lace. I got a lot of these laces that I put in this book at this great flea market that my mom and aunt and I went to, and you were able to get bags of stuff for $1. So of course I was picking up all the stuff I could get that I knew I would use because it was a great buy. Some ribbon sewn on here, stamp that says sewing. I sewed on this pretty crocheted bookmark that I thought would go cute with a theme. Some more vintage lace here. This beautiful paper that folds out 3 times that has some beautiful quotes and sewing themed information on it. I used another packaging for some braid trim here as a tuck spot, and this tuck spot I put some packaging for some ribbon that I had purchased, and I stamped a pin cushion here, and then on the back I put some gesso over the top so you can write on it and do a little journaling there. Here was a big piece of the paper that had this dress form on it in the paper pack I had that I used some of in here, and I just made a tag with that. It's a wooden button here. Tuck spot here, and this is a beautiful antique button there that I picked up at this fun antique store that I went to when I was over in Ocean Shores during the spring on vacation. Some more lace and rickrack, stamped a dress form here and a spool of thread. I put a couple pieces of more packaging in here, added this little fabric and ribbon and a safety pin and a button there to make a cute little spot. Added this hanger paper clip, and so here's 2 pieces of packaging that I've just sewed on the back side of both, and so you can write on them. And this one I thought was cute because it had a little bit of stitching on it. Some more stamping of a safety pin, vintage button there, and some more of that paper measuring tape. Little tuck spot here that I added a piece of ledger paper in that you can use for journaling on. this lace, I added this cute ribbon here, and this is another piece of packaging that was from some ribbon, antique ribbon I found at that flea market. That it was 6 yards. Thought it was cute, and I stamped that dress form on it and used it to make a tuck spot. And some of the sewing in here, I don't know if you can see that very well. This looks like a little bows. Let me see if I can get it a little closer for you. You can see that on the dark brown area. So I used several different stitches in here to make it fun. Some trim and some fabric measuring tape. Another piece of packaging here with another hanger paper clips and some more of that ledger paper for journaling. And again, the packaging has been gessoed so you can write on it. Little thimble stamp. Some fabric washi tape here. A measuring tape stamp. I have this fun sewing stamp set that I used in here. A tuck spot here with a vintage button and some zigzag stamping on it. Button stamp. This says stitched together with love, and this book has definitely been stitched together with lots of love. I really enjoyed this, put a lot of time and love into it. Rick Rack with some more of that rib vintage lace that I picked up at that flea market. Another thimble stamp. Some pieces of that paper that I used back over here that has all the pretty sewing quotes and sewing images on it. My tag says handmade for you by Simply Candia. This piece of paper is fun. It has ads for a millinery school and some interior design schools, so I thought it went kind of fun with the themes of this. Kind of did it in some variations of greens and pinks is what the color scheme ended up, and neutral browns and tans ended up being. Some lace trim there, or crochet trim I should say, zigzagged on. A little scissor stamp with a button added. Another stamp with a button. Some more trim with the fabric measuring tape. Some more packaging that I gessoed on the back side for you. And I added this onto the top of the packaging with some Rick Rack and a button. And I put this little button paper clip in there. Or not paper clip, clothespin clip. This says you are so special, and it's spelled S-E-W for sewing. A button stamp with a button set there. Some more vintage lace. Here I used a hook and eye loop packaging that still has some of the hook and eyes on it to make a tuck spot. Used to be 15 cents to get that. You can't pay that money today. Here's the other image of that's from that sewing pattern. Just love these outfits. And the back of the sewing pattern envelope I put on the back page, and I didn't want to cover it up. It's just so beautiful, and I just made a little flower with an antique button I picked up at the same antique store in Ocean Shores that I got the other antique button in here from. On the back side here, I have an antique button package that I put a couple buttons on, but these buttons are vintage as well. And then I added some thread to this paper I cut out that looks like a little thread packaging. Some vintage lace, some more of that paper trim, paper tape measure, and that is the end of the book. And I just loved making this. It was so much fun, and using all these beautiful laces and trims and ribbons, and all of them from, most of these are from that flea market that are all vintage and some antique things in here. So I hope whoever gets this really enjoys it. I had a great fun and really enjoyed making it, and I guess I'll see you all later, and thanks for watching. Bye.